no fucking no. I would drop everybody to the. I don't need that. I don't need that shit right now.
I know they did.
I'd drop everybody to the fucking goo and start or either boom this room, which is being popular on Clubhouse. We have the boom rooms to get control of them, especially if it's female led. But it won't happen in here because I don't need this shit to this morning. You changed my title.
Somebody boom that shit?
Well, I had no anxiety, no stress, all of that. There was one point when I was cleaning my master bedroom closet out in my wheelchair, right? And I came across these tarot cards that my wife had bought, like 6 months prior, and she made the comment, "Well, you're searching for what's what, so this is what we're gonna do." They never ended up opening those tarot cards. I found them 6 months later. They were in the closet, of course, and that was the one time that I had this overwhelming sense of like anxiety and pressure, and I couldn't get them out of the house fast enough, and I couldn't explain that. But I just wanted to share that last part, and if somebody had some, something to share about that, that's what I was hoping to gain. Just why was I so stress-free, and I was being told Jesus was the truth, the life, and the way, and I had no stress until I came across that. Does somebody have any ideas on that?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Go ahead and go on mute. If you're in the audience and want to come on up and talk about anything, go ahead. We'll now go to Royvis. Royvis, you get a fresh file.
No, because like I was in the comments, and I'm like saying all this stuff, and I keep hitting the mic so I can dictate, and then Siri messes up everything I say, and then I hit the wrong mic button, and then so I have this whole thing in the comments about the Trinity not being logical.
Yeah.
Because, right, you can't, A equals, blah, blah, blah. You can't spell it out logically.
Oh, more geometry again. Oh, good.
No, it's
go ahead. It's all right. It's all right.
It's not geometry. It's first order logic, right? It's law of identity, right?
Yeah.
There's a transient relation, like A should equal C.
A lot of people like to use geometry when talking about God. I'm just not one of them, that's all.
Yeah, God's all triangles and cones and triangles. And right? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, like cones and rods.
Yeah, hold on. We'll get to you, Gluck. I probably we try and do this one at a time. It keeps it orderly. Go ahead.
Man, that's a retina. Oh, God. Anyway.
I know all about the retina, baby. Yeah, go ahead. Unless you're done. Okay. New on stage is Sandy. Sandy, is this your first time on the show?
It is, Steve. How are you?
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. And the reason is because without question, the show is better with you than without you.
You are too kind.
What would you like to talk about?
I'd like to answer the gentleman that had the problem with the tarot cards.
As long as you refer to him as a prior speaker, you can say anything you want for up to 5 minutes, maybe even 6.
Wow. I don't think I need to go that long, but I can maybe help him answer his problem. So prior speaker, I'm sorry, I don't remember what your name is.
A prior speaker for now is his name. Go.
Okay, so prior speaker, you went ahead and were talking about some tarot cards that you found in your closet. I'm a medium. I talk to dead people. And it's got nothing to do about being against Jesus or God or anything else. It's got to do with love, actually. That's how that whole thing works. If you found tarot cards, and you had an overwhelming anxiety about it, obviously they weren't for you. So you got them out of the house, and that's fine. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means they're not your cup of tea. I'm glad that hopefully it's better for you now that they're gone, and hopefully they found a good home where they were appreciated. I would also like to say that there's a lot of people that are, I'm a spiritualist minister, so I do in God, and I do believe in a lot of things. I also 12 years in Catholic school, which that's a whole other story. But don't think that it's such a bad thing for people that necessarily have different beliefs than you, can't help you, and you can't learn from them. A real quick thing, I can pick up Ouija boards, I mean, over the phone if somebody's got one in the house, and I go ahead and immediately tell them to get them the hell out of the house, burn them, trash them, run over them with a car, whatever it is, just get them away. And I have sort of the same kind of experience that you do with the tarot cards I do with Ouija boards. It's just not a good thing. I'm glad that you were able to find your source of anxiety, and I wish you well. And if I can be of service in any way, please feel free to reach back out.
Well, you absolutely can be of service right now if I could ask you a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you. How old were you when you first started talking to dead people?
Maybe a year, probably less. I come from...
No. How you were 1 year old?
Yes, I grew up doing this, so I come from two lines of people that do this.
Okay, now I find that fascinating, and let me tell you why. My earliest memory in life was 4.5, when I was 4.5 years old. My next is 6. I find that most people can't remember earlier than 3.5 or 4, yet you remember being 1 year old.
No, I don't remember. My parents told me. I remember my
okay, let me rephrase the question then. When do you remember the earliest talking to dead people?
About 3.
About 3, okay. And can you describe what happened at that time?
Yes, actually. I was having tea party in the corner, and my parents, and I've been doing it for a couple of years, and my parents hadn't asked about it.
She's been doing it a couple years at 3 years old.
A tea set when you were 3 years old?
No, with like blocks and things. You know,
Okay,
I was a bitty kid.
Building blocks and stuff.
Right.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Playing.
Yeah.
So I was playing, tea party with this this imaginary person, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'd spent all afternoon doing it. So I was at the dinner table with my parents, and it was a glass table. And my parents made the offhand comment while we were sitting there eating dinner. Oh, so we saw that you were having, your tea party with your imaginary friends. Who were they? Or who was it? And I gave them a name, and now my parents knew most likely I probably was going to inherit this because I come from a long line on both sides of my family.
Do you feel comfortable giving us the first name of your imaginary friend, just so I don't want to say it or whatever?
No, you can call him Bob.
Fine, Bob. Okay, go ahead. We'll just call him Bob. Yeah, go ahead.
So both sides of my family have done this for generations. In fact, my uncle's
lines of deadbeaters
used to help the police find lost people. So they knew that there was most likely a chance I was going to do this.
Did you eventually help police find missing people?
I have not gotten there yet. I've been asked. It's not something that I do, but I'm not going to rule it out in the future.
And how long did Bob, or whatever we'll just say Bob, how long did Bob stay in your life, or is Bob still in your life today?
Bob still pops in my life. What had happened was I was at the dinner table and explained to them what Bob looked like, gave them a name. Both my parents' forks and knives dropped on the glass table. It turned out, and now mind you, we had no family pictures up, we had no scrapbooks, we had nothing. It was my great-great-grandfather.
Amazing.
So that's who it was. So they were like, oh shit, now she's got it. So they brought me into Catholic school, and I spent 12 years in Catholic school arguing and being beaten by nuns and priests for 12 years.
That was sort of like a punishment to you from your parents?
No, not at all. They wanted me to have a good education, but they were hoping that maybe the Catholic school would override my natural sense of seeing and dealing with the other side.
And
it didn't.
No, I hear you. So in regards to your, I'm just going to call it, for lack of better words, a higher power, how is your higher power being used today? I mean, you said I'll paraphrase, you're like a medium that helps other people speak to the deceased.
I am a medium. I'm a psychic medium, and I help people talk to the other side. I actually have a room here on Clubhouse from 4 to 6:30 here, and I read for free to to people who are in need.
Would you like to tell us the name? Would you like to post the link in the group chat? You're more than welcome to do that if you would like.
I can after we finish talking.
Okay.
And anybody's welcome to come that needs feels
Do you
they
feel
need to read.
comfortable saying the name of the room right now, or do you want to wait?
It's Todd and Sandy. Todd is a very gifted gentleman, and he reads cards. And then after he's done with his reading, then I go ahead and give messages. If there are messages, I don't edit, I don't delete, I don't make stuff up. If I get something, I get something, and if I don't, I don't.
That is amazing. If you would post the link in the group chat, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Go ahead and go on mute. Feel free to stay on stage. If you're on stage, we will absolutely come back to you before the end of the show. If you could go on mute, that would be amazing.
That'd be great, Steve. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. And if you're in the audience and want to come up and talk about whatever you want, that would be great. In 15 minutes, I'm going to hand over the keys to the jalopy to my XO co-captain, Reverend Scott, who will take over in our last hour number 3 for the first half. We've been joined by Cora. Cora is normally in the middle of her first cup of coffee, so at this time of the show, she normally just says, hello, everybody, but maybe she wants to contribute. I don't know. Cora, good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. And Daryl, we've been joined by Daryl. Daryl, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Uncle Steve and the guys.
Yeah, all right. Very good. Before we go back to the... I'm sorry. Anybody else?
Yes, Steve, I can't change it because I'm not a mod.
You can't what?
No,
Can't.
put it in the room chat.
Oh, in the chat. Oh,
Yes,
okay,
in
I'm
the group
sorry.
chat. Yes, wonderful, great. Thank you, and go on. Thank you very much. So before we go on again, if you're in the audience, feel free to come on up, talk about whatever you want. We'll go back to our mod squad in just a moment. But in hour number 1, the issue of Bruce Lee was brought up, and I want to play a little clip. It's a couple of minutes. Bruce Lee's philosophy, and I still to this day believe that Bruce Lee is the greatest fighter pound for pound in the history of the planet. But here is Bruce Lee on philosophy.
I mean, it might sound too philosophical, but it's acting, or acting, unacting.
You've lost me.
I have, right? So what I'm saying, actually, you see, I mean, it's a combination of both. I mean, here is the natural instinct, and here is control. You are to combine your two in harmony. Not, if you have one to the extreme, you'll be very unscientific. If you have another to the extreme, you become all of a sudden a mechanical man, no longer a human being. So it is a successful combination of both. So therefore, it is not only, so therefore it's not pure naturalness or unnaturalness. The ideal is unnatural naturalness or natural unnaturalness.
Yin yang, eh?
Right, man, that's it. But if you do not have styles, if you just say, well, here I am, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, that way, it's a process of continuing growth. Hand-wise, it's very slow.
What was it?
And you push it out, but all the time you are keeping the continuity going, bending, stretching, everything. Suppose you just keep it moving.
It's like a belly dancer there.
It is. To them, you see, the idea is running water never grows stale. So you got to just keep on floating.
Interesting that we don't, in our world, and haven't since the days of the Greeks who did, combine philosophy and art with sport. But quite clearly, the Oriental attitude is that the three are facets of the same things.
Man, listen, you see, really, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. It is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky, and be flooded with a cocky feeling, and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony thing. You see what I mean? Blinded by it, or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do, and you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there. When you want to move, you are moving. And when you move, you are determined to move. Not taking 1 inch, not anything less than that. If I want to punch, I'm gonna do it, man, and I'm gonna do it, you see? So I mean, so that is the type of thing you have to train yourself into it, to become one with the, you think?
And this is very on the West.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Bruce Lee so much. If you're in the audience and you want to come on up, please do. Let's go to our mod squad. Violet, would you like to contribute at this time, or are you good?
Well, I did wish to comment on the topic we started out with.
Anything
divorce.
you want, dear. Anything you want.
I understand that long-term relationships don't work for everybody. But I also think a lot of people approach their marriage looking at it like the big party of the wedding, and then it's going to just be a happily ever after somehow. They don't think about what kind of effort it takes to maintain a reciprocal relationship and live with someone. I kind of think of it as sitcom syndrome, where problems are solved within half an hour with a few laughs along the way, and when that doesn't happen, people get disillusioned because they didn't think about the long-term part of the relationship. But that's just my personal opinion.
My personal opinion is when people get married, and people are getting married older these days, in their late 20s, early 30s, and considering that life expectancy is in the late 70s, early 80s, when you're 30 years old, you really do not have a concept of how long 50 or 60 years really is, because marriage is till death do you part.
Yeah, I mean, it can be hard to contemplate.
You're married now 20, 25 years, right?
Well, not quite yet. We
15,
just hit
15?
16. We just hit 16.
And is it getting easier or harder?
Oh, easier. I have the fortune of being married to my best friend. We, still, we're just really good together. I mean, I totally shaved 50 years.
I think that's a key. I'm not sure what percentage of people that are married consider their spouse their best friend. In my opinion, that absolutely contributes to marriage being easier and being successful when you believe your best friend is your spouse rather than your bro or rather than your chick or whatever, like your BFF or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, last night we did our music show. My friend Bert and Mel and I, and the song I picked was the one that was our first dance. The chorus goes, "I'm lucky I'm in love with my best friend. I'm lucky to have been where I've been." That was true when we first got married, and it's true now 16 years later.
So it wasn't You're My Best Friend by Queen.
No, it was Jason Mraz and Colby Calais, if you want to check it out.
Colby Calais. I like Colby Calais, sure.
It's a beautiful duet. I think their voices harmonize. It's lovely. I would love the song even if it didn't have such high sentimental value for me.
Thank you, Violet. Richard, any comments about marriage or God or anything at all, or are you good for now? Richard might be away from his phone. We'll come back. JCC, any thoughts about anything?
Yeah, I'm going to tie marriage and God in one sentence.
You go for it, buddy.
I had witnessed a Salesian sister, a nun, who consider themselves married to God, divorce God and go on her own to pursue her music. So it was a beautiful thing. This whole concept of being a medium and all that's beautiful thoughts and conceptions. I'm just really interested in like the methodology to confirm of it really being true and factual, because I think it's just a sleight of hand and gathering some data from a person, and it's really interesting, and I love how people like really grasp onto it and hold it so true and personal. So it's kind of funny. But why is the Ouija board so scary? I think Ouija boards are fun. I think maybe someone who's afraid of Ouija boards, they realize they're not in control of the Ouija board. It's someone else on the board that's controlling it. There are multiple hands on the piece. Oh my goodness.
Well, Kelly can absolutely have another fresh five in hour number 3, no problem. Reverend Scott, you're going to be taking over in about 5 minutes. Would you like to wait to contribute until hour number 3? I think that's a good thing to do. Let's see if Alfonso is available. He normally is not. Alfonso, thanks for doing the heavy lifting. Are you there? Did you want to say hello? No. Yeah, there we go. Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, hello again.
Hello again. How are you?
Good. We've got elections, second round today in Bolivia. Everything is paralyzed, like most of the world.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Outside.
Stay safe, my brother. Stay safe. You got it. Daryl, would you like to contribute, or are you good? Daryl, I know I passed on Cora because she's still waking up. Yeah.
I'd like to officially retract a previous statement that I didn't think Mondani would win the mayoral election.
And I've been saying the whole time I think he will win. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was at the No Kings thing yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I've been down to the ball drop several times in my life.
On New Year's Eve in New York. By the way, do we have a number yet of how many people across the nation participated in No Kings? I was yesterday predicting between 5 and 10 million. Do we have a number or not yet?
So not yet, but I think they're saying it's going to be closer between 9 and 11 million. There were a lot of people in yesterday, man.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it. It's like I said, I'm comparing it to the ball drop.
Yeah.
I was blown away by how many people and what people were talking about. Of course, you had people come over from Jersey and come down from Connecticut and all these other places, but yeah, that kind of like blew me away a little bit yesterday.
All right, and let's see. We got about 3 minutes till the break. In the United States and other Western nations, religious affiliation and church attendance continues to decline, and the institutional consequences are significant. A recent report reveals that as many as 15,000 churches in the United States could close this year. Other research describes the participation importance, belonging sequence. First, worship attendance drops. The importance of religion in life declines. And finally, formal affiliation, belonging wanes. Congregations may face financial staffing and missionary challenges as membership becomes thinner and community ties loosen. For rural or remote areas, church closures could mean loss not only of worship space, but of social services, often tied to local churches, food banks, childcare, community gatherings. Pastoral leadership may need to rethink what it means to church in a time of fewer participants, alternative gathering methods, digital ministry, partnerships may be more necessary than ever. And since we're still in, day 19 of a government shutdown, people who are relying on food, aid, medicine in the United States, both by churches as well as governments, is going to start to really become an issue. We've talked on the show before about nuns, not N-U-N-S, but N-O-N-E-S. The nuns are the greatest increasing part of society when it comes to religion, in that people are not attending church as much. People are leaving their affiliation with a particular sect. And although they still believe in God, nobody is saying they don't. They still believe in God or some type of unidentifiable higher power. They are becoming nuns, N-O-N-E-S, non-affiliation. But you know what? Potentially, maybe only God knows. Don't go away, and we'll be right back with the Reverend who ministers our flock, Reverend Scott.
I always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never, you doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, well, life will still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, the life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you.
Just like you said, don't you see that you're the voice? You're the voice you were waiting for.
You're completely nuts.
Yeah, you make me nuts.
Well, everybody just relax for a second. There's no such thing as an Uncle Steve. That is an alien parasite.
But I've known him my whole life.
No, you haven't, Jerry. These telepathic little bastards, they embed themselves in memories, and then they use those to multiply and spread out and take over planets. It's disgusting. Steve wasn't real. He's a real piece of shit. He's a big one. Somebody probably tracked it in last week on the bottom of their shoe or on a piece of alien fruit.
Someone?
Get off the high road, Summer. We all got pink eye because you won't stop texting on the toilet. But Uncle Steve taught me how to ride a bike. No, Steve put that memory in your brain so he could live in your house, eat your food, and multiply. You could be infested with these things. So we gotta keep an eye out for any zany, wacky characters that pop up.
Ooh, whatever you want, Rick. We're here to help.
Thanks, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Reverend Scott.
Uncle Steve, what a show.
Oh my goodness, what a great show.
You know, we're talking about God, geometry, music. We're talking about stripper karaoke as always.
Talking about talking
You know, what
to dead
didn't come up
people,
today?
Talking to dead people. Yeah, go ahead.
What didn't come up, despite the divorce, was the lifestyle.
Oh, Reverend Scott. Cora's getting tired of talking about that, or listening to it. She doesn't talk about it. She's listening.
I just like to remind people of your days, you know, out there.
That Reverend, that was another. I was gonna say another lifestyle. That was another Uncle Steve. That was 20 years ago. I am a different person now.
Well, you know what? You're still the same lovable.
Anyways, here are the keys to the jalopy. I'm stepping out of the captain's chair. XO, co-captain.
Let's
keep it straight and true.
Wait, where's my cocaine straw? Shit.
Hey, you
Come on,
guys.
let's keep some decorum here. All right, before I go to the crowd here, I want to say I was at No King's Day in Philadelphia, and yeah, it was a big crowd, and Republicans had some thoughts on No King's Day.
The Republicans are saying this is not No King's Day. They said this is Hate America Day. Yeah, liberals hate America. That's what they think. Yeah, if you won't stop assembling freely and speaking freely, we're going to send our masked, unaccountable secret police to arrest you, as America should be. No, I mean, Trump is not like this, being called a king. He said, I am not a king, and the next person who calls me one, they're going to find their ass in the dungeon, let me tell you. He denied it. He said, I am not a king. I have no intention of becoming a king, but if some country wants to donate a gold crown, I'm not going to say no.
There we go, friends. No King's Day. I was there. Chinga! Let's go to Chinga, my friend. Chinga always got interesting things to say. Chinga, would you like a fresh five, my friend?
No, nothing today.
Coming in the queue. This is.
I hear you, Double. Don't worry. We'll get to you, buddy. We'll get
I'm just up here to be the twin to Royvis.
I love it. I love it, Chinga. It's always great to see you. Let's go to Gluck U. Gluck U, welcome to the stage. Would you like a fresh five, my friend?
Sure, yeah. I've been here a minute listening.
Well, what's going on?
Do I just go?
Yeah, okay, you got up to 5 minutes to talk about whatever you want, whatever is on your mind. This is a free speech zone, baby.
Well, I will say that essentially I highly believe in Sandy's ability. I don't necessarily believe in the whole parasite thing. I think that the parasite thing is covering up what human beings had the ability to do in the first place. I just, was poking fun at that recording of, the parasite and inserting itself in memories. I definitely believe in that ability because it's actually based off of the science that I'm looking into. And in my opinion, it just shows the nature of being able to one, have consciousness in a higher dimensional space, by locality. It also shows that you can actually access the memory of essentially space. That it's not space-time, it's space memory, and the magnetic frequencies of reality record pretty much every event. That there's a crystalline, stored, not only process, but essentially place where you can actually access not only memories, but right. I just wanted to say that because I heard Sandy saying earlier some things, and honestly, when I've had my experiences with this sign, I've been able to remember deep memories as well from being younger. I guess she didn't say that, but I was gonna say that because I've messed with this science and my memory has gotten better. It's actually kind of tied to I hate to say it, just to throw it out there, but kind of like the Kabbalah. A lot of these Gnostic religions are tied to understanding this type of framework. And it's really, in my opinion, what they try to hide from people so that they don't believe in it. Because if we found out that you could access, past people's consciousness or, it would get weird really, really quickly. Like I said, I don't think it's some negative entity that is controlling things. I think there's truly an ability to access your loved ones even after they're gone. So yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you. There's a vote for the paranormal and our ability to communicate with them. And Sandy is willing to apparently avail her services, so I guess people can reach out to her, and she can connect you maybe to some people from the other side, from beyond. All right, let's go to Agent, Double Agent, my friend. Would you like a fresh five, or are you on the phone?
Yeah, I just got off the phone. I'm right in time.
All right, buddy. Well, you got your fresh five, man. Go ahead.
Thanks. Now I forgot what I was going to talk about. but anyway, it's been good to be here. The lady who was a medium, or I should say the previous speaker, that's very interesting stuff.
I was curious to ask because Uncle Steve runs the whole. He clearly identifies strongly as an atheist. To have rooms like this and to self-label and so forth. But I believe he said earlier he was for, I think it was Rosh Hashanah or was it Yom Kippur? He went to synagogue, I believe, this year.
Firstly, would you like me to answer that now, or would you just like to keep on?
Oh yes, please, because I wanted to ask you about it a little.
Well, let me answer it right now, and you can ask me anything you want. Firstly, I didn't talk about Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur today. I have talked about it in previous shows. I did not go to synagogue this year, but on Yom Kippur, the holiest Jewish holiday of the year, I turned off my phone, I turned off my radio, I turned off my social media. I went into the basement, metaphorically speaking, and I was deep in thought about forgiving myself for the bad treatment I have caused others for the past year. But no, I was not in synagogue, but I did not work, and I turned everything.
Yeah, but because maybe I wanted to challenge you on, whether or not you believe on the God or so forth. It's like I think with religion, there's a lot of you show it in what you do in many ways, right? And I think you're still living a life, and even following these practices, maybe not because you're afraid of the God in the sky or whatever. Believe
I'm not afraid of the Sky Daddy, and you're right. I live pretty much the same life that I did when I believe in God. My life, at least regarding spirituality and religion, has not changed. I just don't believe God exists. That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, it's just interesting to note. I just wanted to reflect that back to you, Uncle Steve, that, maybe it's not just about, sort of our intellectual sense of the world or conclusions about the world. Sometimes there's something much deeper. And, even the medium lady, that, there's something there. She could say she's an atheist, but then there's still she still talks to dead people. So, there's just things far beyond. At the end of the day, we all have to answer the question, or at least wonder the question, why are we here at all? There's clearly something that we can all observe that, where did it come from? What is it all about? So I think this is very interesting. As far as, I was reading through the divorce link that was posted, and doesn't look good. I think we're in a lot of trouble as a society. And this is, often marriage is seen as a key ingredient or a precondition generally for people starting families, having children, and so forth. And also you look at, so the divorce stats are incredibly high. And one thing you look at too is that jumped out at me a little was the net worth of people who were divorced was I think of the lowest, or is at least close to the people that were never married. And whereas the people who were still married have much higher. And I was just looking at looking at the gap there between the married people and the divorced people, thinking, that's just the lawyers feed right there. I'm sure there's more to it as well. It's you double your rent, you double your expenses in some ways as a household. But that's there's so many things. The deck is really stacked against family formation these days and family sustainability these days, and you just think there's a whole industry just preying on people that are married to try to rip apart their marriage and take half their stuff. And if you're the man, it's even taking even more than half your stuff. So anyway, it's tough out there, everyone, and I've been somewhat radicalized in just pondering these questions and then thinking for my own life. or even on a societal level, like, well, how do we dig ourselves out? And I don't know that I have any really good answers, but the only answers that I have arrived to are what most of the people, most mainstream people brought up in, someone said, the Catholic schools, or most of the people going to these No Kings protests, or all this stuff. If you polled Americans, they would consider my ideas quite, or some of my conclusions are unpalatable and extreme, but nobody's really otherwise even openly addressing the question in any meaningful way, or proposing solutions. So I would just put it to everyone, do you want your society to survive decades or even centuries into the future, or are you just kind of gonna roll over and watch it, just be like, well, that's how it goes. Anyway, I'm not someone to just roll over and die. So, but I wish everyone well. It's a beautiful day. I just got back from Europe, and also I'll just say about religion, there is something profound about going in those old cathedrals that have been there for centuries. I was in a church that was there for over 1,000 years in south of France, and there's something very special about those spaces, and something lost in a society that no longer values or creates or really utilizes those spaces as they were intended. But anyway, I wish everyone well. Very beautiful weather on the East Coast, and to any of my friends in the audience in New York, I'm hoping to go to New York in the next couple weeks probably, so maybe I'll get to see you, but happy.
Thank you, Agent. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Provocative thoughts, interesting insights. Dr. Francine coming to us from the sunny state of Arizona. Dr. Francine, would you like a fresh?
Sure. I'd like a fresh five to speak to you.
Well, you're free to do that. I'm a mod. I'm driving the jalopy. You can absolutely speak to me. Whatever you'd like to talk about, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I've been, I come to this room a lot, and I define as an atheist, meaning that I don't believe there's any higher power telling me how I should or should not act. But I noticed that I do have a moral code. And I'm wondering if after we do some more neuroscience study and find out more about the brain, we might be able to use God as a concept rather than a belief system, and just call it, especially since there's so many different religions. God is the concept that tells you how the universe began and how you should live your life, maybe, but doesn't have to be an entity. JCC, morality is subjective. But I guess I have always felt that if you want to live a moral life, whatever you think a moral life is, you can do it with or without God, with or without religion, with or without all these trappings. And I often find that people who have the most trappings around their religious observances are not necessarily the most, how should I say it, because this too is I don't know, Scott, you studied divinity and I didn't. And I'm curious what you learned when you studied that makes you so sure that God is actually something or someone.
Well, that's a great question. Okay, look, so I think, first of all, I love what you said about religion, trappings of religion, because there's this great old adage that you can't make the English moral and you can't make the English religious and you can't make the Irish moral, right? I mean, so you could do a lot of religiosity and not be particularly moral, right? I mean, that we know that's easy. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I will say this. I think that I just had someone on my podcast, Jeffrey Rosen, who's written a book just recently called The Pursuit of Liberty, which is all about Hamilton and Jefferson and their dispute over liberty and how that shapes American political life. But he's going to come on later in the year and talk about his book, The Pursuit of Happiness, where he talks a lot about the founder's conception of happiness. And we get into, in the last podcast, a bit about nature and nature's God, and this idea that there are some basic, kind of clues to the structure of the universe and the moral life built into nature. And that's what a lot of the founders thought, right? They were not atheists, but many of them were not traditional Christians or Jews or something like that.
They were deists, right?
Yeah, a lot of them were deists, right? That they didn't believe in a personal God that was interacting immanently in the world, right? God kind of set up the world and sort of let it go. I think the concept, it's interesting. I think what you say is very true, that a lot of people just find the need for this concept, right? I will say this. Morality, clearly, morality is a subjective construct, right? Because there are differences, there are cultural constructions also. But you know what? I will say, most people, when they're in a moral dispute, don't talk about it like it's subjective, right? When you are wronged morally, and you feel that way, right? You don't say, hey, look, this is just a subjective perception. Just like I don't like pineapple on my pizza or something. I don't like that you violated my rights here. I don't like that you violated my people talk like you've transcended something, right? You did something wrong, and it's not just subjective. You know it, I know it. People can't get away from talking as if there's truth with a capital T, right? And so people may, in clubhouse rooms like this, we all do. We all can say, in sophisticated, pretty nuanced and critical ways, morality is a construct. This is subjective. God's a construct. And all that is to some degree truthing. But all of us will slip into truth with a capital T and morality with a capital M. It's just inevitable, right? We will, because we're emotional creatures. And when we care about stuff, there's a book by Taylor called, what was it called? The Proof for God or something. And in it, he talks about arguments for God's existence. And he says these are just suggestions, but he has a chapter, The Ultimate Argument. And the ultimate argument for a guy that pastored in New York a lot was, he said, the most relativistic liberals, progressives that he encountered in New York, always became objective about morality when it was something they cared about. Whether it was female circumcision or this kind of human right or something, that all of a sudden morality was not a construct, and they sounded like a fundamentalist, as if the laws that they were talking about were not just cultural constructions, they were handed down by some transcendent reality, and they were truth with a capital T. We just can't get away from that emotionally. And so I don't know what that means, right? But I think it's interesting, Dr. Francine.
Have you ever taken a course in neuroscience? Because that's what's bugging me. It's like, I just took a class, I think I might have said this in another room, but MIT puts its courseware up on the internet for nothing. And you can take any course you want. And I just finished a course called Cognitive Neuroscience. And the person who taught it is awesome. And she happens to be a woman. But the person who taught it's really awesome. And she taught us a lot about how the brain works. And I don't understand where God fits into, this discussion of how the brain works, but I don't think it actually leaves out a space for a godlike figure either. It's just that you can't see where that is in the brain.
I agree with you. I don't necessarily think there's a God a particle in the brain or something. I don't think But I do think that societies and individuals, right? I mean, again, there are probably exceptions. Nietzsche might be an exception to this, but he's a pretty rare and remarkable individual and my favorite philosopher. But in general, people just need transcendentals, right? People will function with them, right? Now, people can push against them, but we will just slide back into truth with a capital T, right? Into morality with a capital M, despite the fact that we will say morality is subjective, morality is a construct, all this stuff. We will, in our lives, act like it's not. We will act as though this thing is not just a cultural construction, it's completely relative. We will assert it as if it's objective and absolutely true. I mean, most people. Now, some people might be exceptions to that. I mean, but in my experience, nobody can be that subjective and that relativistic. It's just psychologically really, really hard to do. Again, some people might be able to, but in my experience, very few are. So,
this is Richard. I'd like to make a colorful comment.
My main man, go ahead.
A colorful comment. In this discussion, we're talking about truth and morality. Always keep in mind that the internet is not the solution. Truth.com, this is a fact, is a hardware store in Owatonna, Minnesota. Keep that in mind, folks.
Richard, you're always here for deep insights and comic relief.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether that was helpful to me or not. If I know Richard's a very intelligent guy, but here's another thing. You know, a lot of you know Ed Nussbaum. He was my business partner and best friend. He died 2 weeks ago. And so when
sorry for your loss, Dr. Francine.
Thank you, Scott. But what was really interesting to me is that this morning when the woman with the Ouija board and the person who had the ability to contact the paranormal was on, I was thinking to myself, is there a way to open my mind to something like that so I could talk to Ed again? You know, it's like when you have an experience like a loss, like I had, you realize what is limiting about the view of consciousness that we have, and I would love it to be expanded if there were a way.
Yeah, I still wanted to speak on that.
Yeah, Gluck, I'll come to you in a minute. Maybe after the bottom of the hour. Yeah, Dr. Francine, I think that this is, again, I've mentioned this before, Ross Douthat from the New York Times, his book, Believe, Why Everyone Should Be Religious. He makes a lot of these kinds of experiences, right, of these supernatural experiences with the dead, with other sorts of things but who knows? I mean, again, the world is a really mysterious place. Thanks, Dr. Francine. I want to go to candidate for Congress, John Kitover. John, would you like a fresh five? How are you doing fresh from the campaign trail? What do you got?
I'm doing great. I'd like to discuss the campaign for a minute and then just read up for 60 seconds.
You can read for 60 seconds. Yeah, we have that rule.
Yeah. So in terms of the campaign, another 100 signatures this weekend. I'm paying $1 signature. Really motivated individual who absolutely does not want to see Democrats in power ever again. And they're not even concerned about my opponent or my politics. They just are absolutely disgusted and despise Democrats. And so they're doing whatever they can politically. The reason of their motivation is trying to hurt. Amongst other things, and especially in the No King's Day protests, we got a lot of signatures. A lot of people are disgusted with the clownish behavior of these Democrats at the No King's protests. Just a bunch of sheep zombies with no original thoughts, just totally conditioned and brainwashed to do what their masters at MSNBC and other media outlets tell them to do through all their social media channels and on the television. But anyways, I know there's a bunch of atheists.
How would you know that, John?
Oh, this is my 60 seconds.
Yeah, let's not
I'm
even
gonna read a poem.
Let's not.
Don't worry, friends. I know you're one of the good ones. This is called Logos, and it's written by Aleister Crowley, my favorite poet. Not many people read poetry these days, but I read in a poem that if you live in poetry and read poetry, you can actually be happy in this lifetime and have a little joy and a little love. So this is a meditation. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. This is called Logos. Out of the night forth flamed a star, mine own. Now 70 light years nearer as I urge, constant mine heart through the abyss unknown. Its glory my soul guide while spaces surge about me. 70 light years as I near that gate of light that men call death. Its cold, pale gleam begins to pulse, a throbbing sphere. Systole and diastole of eager gold. New life, immortal, warmth of passion bleed till night's black velvet burn to crimson. Hark! It is thy voice, thy word, the secret seed of rapture that admonishes the dark. Swift, by necessity, most righteous drawn. Hermes, authentic augur of the dawn.
Beautiful. What a wonderful reading by the Congressman.
Can we apply the no sound
candidate
effect rule
Congressman.
to like doing stuff on your end too? Because that's really painful, John. You should consider people that have sensory disorders before you do that kind of crap.
All right, there we go. Well,
We actually do have a rule that the only one that's allowed to do sound effects is yours truly.
Uncle Steve, welcome back. What did you do in the break? How'd you spend your
Refilled my coffee cup, had another, tequila sunrise mimosa or whatnot, checked on the update on the news. I'm still waiting for the final numbers for No King's Day. Again, I predicted it somewhere between 5 and 10 million. So
Uncle Steve, can I give you the numbers right now for the room?
Yeah, please. What do they show? What do they show?
We have 54 people in the room right now, and we've had 631 souls come to the room this morning. 631. A new record.
Yesterday we had over 680 souls. So our numbers are just growing. Reverend Scott, XO co-captain, thank you very much for holding down the ship. We are definitely going to shut down in 28 minutes. So if you're in the audience and you want to come up, please do. And Reverend, has Sandy spoken yet? Yes or no? Do you know?
I have not. Sandy spoke in the last hour, but not
Sandy
in this.
did speak. Okay, I want to get to the
hour.
I want to get to the new speakers. Everybody that's on stage will get a chance to give your closing thoughts. I don't think has Leroy spoken yet? I don't think
Leroy
so.
or Honey has not spoken.
No, Steve, I have not spoken yet.
All right, Honey has not spoken. Let's go to Honey first and then Leroy. Honey, good morning. Welcome to the show. What would you like to talk about, Honey?
Good morning. Is my audio okay?
Yes, it's perfect.
Great. I just wanted to make a short, quick. All this stuff, we can go back and forth for hours. Obviously, that's why these rooms keep happening. I just never get a clear answer from any theists, especially Jews, Christians.
Well, I'm a Jew, but I'm an atheist, so I guess I don't apply.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't get a straight answer regarding God's role in Gaza. It's been a long time. I know that this is a battle of principalities and spiritual warfare, and I know that the Jews and the Christians and the Muslims are all very, very important roles that they're playing in this battle, this spiritual battle that's been talked about in books and folklore.
Is it really a spiritual battle? I got to tell you, I've said this. I'm just
trying to get this question out after I finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go on. You ask your question, and then I'll respond.
Yeah. I'll keep talking while you do that. So I was just trying to get to this point that I just don't understand what role God is actually playing. Is Yahweh doing something? Is Jehovah helping the Palestinians, or is he helping the Zionist movement with their tanks to destroy these homes? Like I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and none of these people ever give me a fucking straight answer. And it's ridiculous and gross, right? If you want to fucking act like God is backing up some of your fucking weird larpy shit, give me some substance, right? give me something. Instead, all they do is something like some previous speaker said, oh, they're ridding the world of cancer. They're getting rid of evil. Like, this is dangerous talk, people. It's fucking 2025. If you're over 40 years old, you need to fucking take a good look at yourself and decide what the hell you actually believe, because it sounds like you're just a LARPing piece of shit when you do this, and you're part of the problem. So help me out. Back to the question. What the fuck is God actually responsible for at any given moment in any of this? I'd like to hear your answers, because I never get straight ones.
I got to start one. Yeah, however, it's not your turn yet. That's not the way we run the show. This is why the show is called Ask the Atheist with Reverend Scott and the Mod Squad. We discourage very much talk between the people directly on stage, and you just talk to the mods or myself.
Hold on really quick. I gotta address this. No. Yeah. No, let me do this.
Question.
In the audience, someone said, Go ahead. Angry anti-Semite. You know what? Suck a dick. I'm not anti-Semitic. I fucking don't care. If you're a Jew, be a Jew. If you want to say that you believe this stuff, say it. Just say it's your opinion. Say it doesn't mean it's factual. I'm not against Jews. I'm not against Muslim people, right? There's nice Muslim people. There's nice Christian people. I used to be a Christian. I grew up around Christians. I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to Abrahamic religions. To call me anti-Semitic because I'm anti-genocide and anti-bullshit, that's a fucking weak-ass position, and you need to reassess your life.
Are you finished, and may I answer?
Yeah, I'm done now. Thanks, dude.
No, thank you. And I will answer. I'm going to give you a first-class escort to the VIP. Thank you very much, and now I will answer. Firstly, I'm 65, so I clearly qualify as over 40. I don't think I'm part of the problem. But that's just me. Number two, since the war broke out, I haven't heard God being as a basis for the war. God has been a central focal point for war in the Middle East for thousands of years, but I really haven't heard God as a reason for this war. What I have heard is both sides have argued that the land belongs to them, and they've given different reasons why the land belongs to them. I believe the strongest reason that the Palestinians have used, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that they claim it was Palestine, and that's why they're called Palestinians, and it belongs to them. The Jews in Israel, of course, use that I find the most compelling reason is that the land has belonged to them since World War II. And by the way, except for the United States, which has been around for almost 250 years, the land that is considered Israel, and by the way, I am a Zionist, let's just point that out right then and there. I believe that Israel is entitled to that land, amongst other things, because of World War II. And if people in Gaza want to have their own two-state solution or call their own country Palestine, I'm fine with that, as long as it does not go inside the current established Israeli borders. But when it comes to this war, I haven't heard God mentioned hardly at all. It doesn't seem to be a big compelling factor. But to me, what I hear mostly is that the land belongs to them for a whole slew of other reasons besides God. But maybe I'm not hearing a complete story. And with that, I think Leroy was next, I think. Yes?
Yes, Steve. Yes, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the show. What would you like to talk about?
I think I have an answer for what God is responsible for.
You mean in regards to the war or everything else?
In regards to the idea that God is responsible for anything, right?
Please, I'd love to hear it.
I'm going to do it in the poem, and I'm going to do it as a poem. Here it goes.
As long as it's less than 60 seconds, I have no problem with that.
It sure is. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who ultimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree.
I like that. Thank you.
There you have it, Steve.
I love that. Is there anything else you'd like to contribute?
You know, when people talk about God, I find that when people have conversations about God, they should before they discuss whether God. I'm not saying people don't have a right to do it, but I think that people should define what God is so that they could limit the amount of time taken to convince someone that the God that they believe exists. Because maybe the definition of your God is different from my God.
Well,
right?
my definition is the definition that AA gives, and that is an unidentifiable higher power. But everybody else is
right.
different. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's where the long-term argument is. And now, the last thing I want to say, when you talk about being an atheist, Steve,
Yes.
could all religions be atheists towards each other?
Well, let me answer that, which some may not consider an answer. 99% of all religions have at their center an unidentifiable higher power, and many religions say that there is only one God and all other gods are false gods. So in that respect, the answer to your question is yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's a thought. And have a great day. And thank you for allowing me that fresh five, Steve.
Not only do I thank you, you get a standing ovation, baby. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give you a first-class escort down the red carpet to the VIP. Thank you.
Hey,
very
Steve,
much.
Quick question.
Yes.
When would you like hand raising to be null and void, turned off?
Yeah, I'll let you know. We don't normally turn it off, but I'll let you know.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So I think everybody on stage has spoken before. Is that correct, Mod Squad?
Yes.
I have not.
Oh, Norm, that's right, Norm. Hey, Norm, good morning. Would you like to speak now, or did you want to wait 3 minutes?
I can speak now, if it's convenient.
It absolutely is convenient. Norm, welcome to the show. Pleasure to have you. What would you like to talk about?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Hang on, I'm adjusting the audio.
And I think Alex is new, so Alex will go after you.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, I understand that Jews are perplexing people because we predate most of the West's notion of religion, even nationhood, identity, certainly race. We were here before the word religion was invented.
And we have about twice as many atheists in the Jewish religion as the next closest religion, even though you still continue to believe that I am not really an atheist.
I believe there's no
You've
such
said
thing.
that many times.
I believe there's no such thing as an atheist.
My point exactly. Please continue.
Yes. To me, it's a kind of a weak tea pseudo religion.
No, atheism is definitely not a religion because, as I said earlier, there's no unidentifiable higher power at the center of atheism.
Well, it's a belief system. You could call it perhaps then, if you
Absolutely, it's a belief system. No question.
You could call it an ideology. And I'm anti-ideology. I'm okay with higher power, though. But what it has in common with a religion is that it's not falsifiable. And it's also faith-based. So if you're going to have a faith-based belief system, I would recommend picking the strongest one can, especially one that is inherent with one's identity, in this case Judaism. But nobody's asking for if you're not asking for my advice, Steve, so no need for me to offer it. But I wanted to
I'm not asking
address...
you for your advice on atheism. That's true.
So, Gaza. You may have noticed that our kidnapped men and women hostages were returned on the exact day that they were taken.
And JCC, now you can turn off hand raising, JCC. Norm, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
No worries at all. And that was the dual holiday of Shmini Atzeret and Simchas Torah, which come at the end of Sukkot. And as you can imagine, these are very holy days, and they are deeply intertwined with the realization of Jewish identity and our inherency and indigeneity in the land of Israel. So, of course, if you believe in coincidences, you're welcome to do so. Then there are people who believe that there are no coincidences, and I am more of the latter belief system. That certainly God acts in mysterious ways, but to quote Barack Obama, the arc of history bends towards justice. And sometimes justice is painful. Sometimes justice is hard to look at. It was necessary to drop 2 atomic bombs on Japan, the imperial religious empire of Japan, in order to end their genocide of the Koreans, Chinese, Filipinos, and other Asians. It was one of the worst genocides seen in human history. And it has been necessary to drop bombs on Hamas and their adherents and on their cities in order to stop their genocide, which I put into words and put into writing many times. It's easy to forget that the Gazans came heavily armed into a peaceful area, an area filled with peaceniks and kids dancing in a festival, and they raped, they mutilated, they beheaded, they burned alive unarmed children, grandparents, Holocaust survivors, and just kids dancing. They took off parts of women's bodies and played with them. This is all documented. In fact, they filmed it.
90 seconds, or 90 seconds.
Thank you. And they did this in front of the women's children and accompanied it with, they raped the women and then they murdered them. Somehow the credo, believe all women, was suspended when it came to Jews, but we don't suspend that credo. So this barbarous behavior has consequences, and the world now sees those consequences, as it sees the consequences of threatening to burn up America and Israel in the case of Iran. So my suggestion is embrace Western civilization and Western values and allow people to live in peace and leave them alone. I don't believe we are the own children of God, but we are certainly children of God. And as such, our lives and our land need to be respected. And we're not going to negotiate for our existence. We're going to seize it and hold it and defend ourselves against who would wipe us out. There it is.
Norm, thank you very much. First class escort to the VI. Now let's go to Alex. Alex.
The King's rally yesterday in Philly, and I've been noticing at Democratic Party events that the pro-Palestinians have been showing up with big Palestinian flags, waving them so that the cameras will pick them up wherever they're trained upon the speaker, whether in front of the speaker or behind the speaker. Yesterday they were behind the speaker, so I decided to just go and make my free speech heard by putting up on my 2 by 12, it's 2 by 1 by 12, a no canes sign with an Israeli flag amongst the Palestinian flags. And so if you caught that on the Jumbotron, that was me. And I think, I'm not sure, as you are sure, but I'm not sure what religion is exactly. I know what my people are. Some of them are believe in God, and some of them don't. And Jews are Jews, no matter what, unless they choose not to be, and then that's questionable. But I just wanted to say something about the hijacking of the Democratic Party and inserting themselves into something that they don't care about, because I'm not really convinced that they have much of a political ideology other than hating on the Jews, and that's something that I'm tired of seeing, and I'm tired of seeing.
You think that one of the platforms of the Democratic Party is to hate Jews? Is that what you said? No.
No, the Palestinian.
Oh,
the
Palestinian platform. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Into the Democratic Party, not actually functionally part of the party. Some of them may be, some of them may not be, but just by trying to get the photo opportunities at all the Democratic Party events to make it look as if Democrats are anti-Israel, which is ridiculous. And a lot of the other Jews in the crowd came up and thanked me. I was the only one with an Israeli flag trying to at least put a small sliver of reality into the fact that no, the Democratic Party is not co-opted by Palestinians. Anyway, thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you. And now we'll go to closing thoughts and burning desires. Sandy, would you like to say goodbye?
I would, thank you. I'd like to respond back to a couple of people who have questions. Is that
As long as you refer to them as a prior speaker, go ahead.
Okay, one of the prior speakers wanted some scientific evidence. I can recommend a wonderful book. There's two of them, actually, by a gentleman named Gary Schwartz. He runs the psychic laboratory down at University of Arizona. You can go ahead and read those. It's very fact-based, very scientific, kind of dry, but I think it'll answer your questions about the tests that they do on psychics and the high percentage of a lot of them on being correct. I think you'll find it fascinating. And I did, actually. So there's two of them, and it's Gary Schwartz. You can find them on AMP. The second speaker, I think, is asking about Ouija boards. Why is it I was against Ouija? Well, to me, Ouija boards, especially in the hands of those who don't know what they're doing, is akin to bringing your keys down to the bus station and handing them to them and say, help yourself, use my front door and, party on. You don't invite unknown entities into your house. It's just not a good idea. The same with Ouija boards. When you open yourself up to that kind of energy and you don't know what you're doing and you're summoning people from beyond, it's sort of dodgy on what it is that you're going to get. Not a good idea, and that's why I refuse to deal with people that have Ouija boards. And my biggest suggestion is to get them the hell out of the house. It's safer that way, and if you really want to deal with someone who is talking to people on the other side, go to somebody that has the ability. There's other mediums, psychic mediums out there that do the same thing. It doesn't have to be me. I can make suggestions to you for legit ones that I know and trust, and you can go ahead and talk to them or whomever you choose. I would stay away from people that have giant palms on their front lawn, because those are pretty much the ones that you don't want to go see. But if it's something that you're really interested in, please feel free to contact me, and I can certainly legitimately lead you in the right direction to the right person for whatever it is that your question is.
Thank you very much for your contributions today. First class escort to the VIP. Now we go to Dr. Francine. And by the way, Dr. Dr. Francine, if you didn't hear, hot off the press a couple of days ago, Waymo is announced they're partnering with DoorDash to deliver food. Didn't know if you heard that, Dr. Francine.
No, but why would I be surprised?
Exactly, because we have spoken about the autonomous cars, Waymo or whatever, in Phoenix, and they are now partnering. They just announced it a couple of days ago to deliver food.
It's just a way to get more business for them.
It's a way to cut down costs and mitigate liability of employees and independent contractors. At least that's the way I look at it. As with all ride sharing, where it will be in 5 to 10 years, people won't be behind the wheel of ride sharing anymore. Would you like to say goodbye? That's my prediction, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to say is I don't know if that's good or bad, because I know so many people who really depend on driving for things like.
Oh yeah, and I'm not advocating it. My crystal ball is just saying that's what's going to happen. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too, but it's one of those things that makes me feel a little sad. Yes, you can escort me to wherever you escort people.
First class escort down the red carpet, Dr. Francine, to the VIP. There you go. Royvis, would you like to say goodbye? Royvis. Royvis, it looks like you are the last non-mod. Would you like to say goodbye? Going once, going twice. Well, Royvis, we will give you a stretcher down the red carpet to the VIP. Thank you for your contributions. And with that, let's say goodbye to the mods who don't get first-class escorts down to the VIP, because they have to continue staying on stage and doing the heavy lifting. Violet, would you like to say goodbye?
Great show today, Steve. I'm really love being here on Sundays, and I hope everybody has a great week, and goodbye till next Saturday.
Thank you, Violet. Daryl, would you like to say goodbye? Daryl.
Yeah, fun fact, Alistair Crowley lost his wife to L. Ron Hubbard. He lost his boat to L. Ron Hubbard, and L. Ron Hubbard scammed him out of $20,000. Goodbye.
Wow. And here's a fun fact, hot off the press before we continue with our goodbyes. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in America has just installed is it pronounced Yehiel, Yehiel Curry, as its first black presiding bishop. Bishop Curry, age 53, officially began his 6-year term October 1, following the election in July. The ELCA, historically predominantly white mainline denomination rooted in German Scandinavian immigration, has seen significant membership declines over the recent decades, from about 5.3 million in 1988 to about 2.7 million today. So Curry's election represents both a symbolic and practical moment for the renewal and inclusion. Cora, would you like to say goodbye?
Daryl, you're so not right on the wife thing. Sorry. Alistair Crowley thought Sarah Nora Hollister was a demon in the form of a woman. She was the sister of Jack Parsons' first wife, who then took up with Jack Parsons after his first wife left him for the head of the OTO temple in North Hollywood. And then after, she took up with Jack Parsons, then she took off with L. Ron Hubbard and became L. Ron Hubbard's second wife. So a little bit off there, but still weird, to say the least. But Crowley didn't like her very much. Anyway, let alone was married to her, not at all. In fact, he was probably 50 years older than her at the time he met her. So anyway, but yeah, goodbye, everyone.
And of course, if I'm not mistaken, fact check me, L. Ron Hubbard said, why write for a penny a word when you can write for $1 a word? Alfonso, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, thanks for the show. Have a good week.
Thank you very much. Of course, that refers to Scientology. JCC, would you like to say goodbye? JCC.
Yes, of course. And with all this other people reading poetry and talking about other sides, the day destroys the night, night divides the day. We chase our pleasures here, we dug our treasures there, but you can still recall the time we cried. Everybody loves my baby. I found an island in your arms, a country in your eyes. Made the scene week to week, day to day, hour to hour, gate is straight, deep and wide, break on through to the other side. Jim Morrison,
JCC, that was beautiful. I'm sorry.
No, it's not mine. It's Jim Morrison, The
Yeah,
Doors.
I
So,
know.
yeah, it's awesome. So, we all are human beings living on this big, bright, beautiful ball floating through space. We all have our dreams. We all have our desires. We all have our beliefs. We are not here to judge each other. Those who believe and those who don't believe, we can all get along. So, let's all enjoy the rest of our weekend, and happy trails to all until we meet again. Thank you.
JCC, that was great. Thank you. Richard, would you like to say goodbye? Richard.
Imagine if there's no religion. It's easy if you try. Imagine we're all together, happy as we go on by. A little ditty from the past.
From John Lennon. Thank you very much. And last but not least, the Reverend who ministers our flock, Reverend Scott. Would you like to say goodbye till next weekend?
Parting is such sweet sorrow. Great to see everybody. Uncle Steve, we got 694 souls coming through today. Just shy of 700.
I suspect it's going to be a little more. The reason why is because when you gave us the number of souls yesterday, it almost doubled. I think your club deck may be a little delayed in the number.
A little low.
Yeah, we'll have the numbers in about 15
Need
minutes
to pump
after the
that
show
deck
closes.
up, Scott. Need to pump it up.
Pump that deck. That's right.
Pump the deck, baby. Pump up the deck. But, well, it's great to see everybody. Great discussions today, and I hope everybody comes back next weekend for the most happening spot on Weekend Clubhouse. Thanks, everybody.
And with that, we are done. We will be back next Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, with Ask Uncle Steve with the Reverend Scott and the Mod Squad. And next Sunday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, with Ask the Atheist with Reverend Scott and the Mod Squad. On behalf of the Mod Squad, I wish you and your families a great remainder of your weekend. Thanks to all the nieces and nephews and everybody in the audience who participated, because without question, the show is better with you than without you. And we'll close it with this. Yesterday, JCC did a request. I only had about 15 seconds notice, so I couldn't do it. But today, he didn't do a request. But he did read some lyrics from a song. So take care, everybody, and be careful on the clubhouse streets. Here we go.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah. We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there. Can we still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Everybody,
This girl I'm gonna go on a date and she like wants to, start her background investigation on me before we go get dinner. It's like have fun. Have fun. Don't go crazy with the process.
Representation on both sides.
Hold on, was I the only one that didn't get what you said, CEO? Can you repeat what you said?
Oh, I said that I think in terms of independence, yeah, there's not like a ton of that represented on Clubhouse, but in terms of party loyalists on both sides, I think there's a very good representation of that on Clubhouse compared to what I hear in the world.
Of voters?
Yeah, it used to not be that way like several years ago, but honestly, like what I hear on Clubhouse now is what I hear outside.
You were hearing that B ain't even black in person. Because I only heard that on here.
Oh no, not something like that.
Okay.
No.
That was a very Clubhouse.
No.